What if I told you that the strongest people in the world are not the ones who never cry, but the ones who cry quietly and still choose to stand up the next morning? What if I told you that one small decision made in silence can change the future of an entire family? Do not skip this story because somewhere inside it you may find your own reflection. Before we continue, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to mindforge. This channel is built for people who are fighting silent battles and chasing big dreams. When you subscribe, you become part of a community that believes in growth, discipline, and purpose. Now, let me tell you a story you will not forget. In a small rented apartment on the edge of a crowded city lived a man named Rahman. He was not highly educated. He did not have a powerful job. His hands were always rough and his back often hurt from long hours of standing. But he never complained. Because every time he felt tired, he remembered one thing: his daughter. Her name was Alina. From the day she was born, Rahman felt something change inside him. He looked at her tiny hands and made a promise in his heart. He promised that she would never feel as small as he once did. Rahman grew up in poverty. He left school at 14 because his family needed money. He never hated his life, but he always wondered what could have been. When Alina started school, she showed signs of brilliance very early. She loved reading. She asked questions about everything. She would sit beside her father in the evening and tell him what she learned that day. Sometimes Rahman did not understand the science or the math, but he listened carefully, as if she was explaining the secrets of the universe. One day, when she was about 10 years old, she looked at him and said, "I want to become a doctor. I want to help people who are sick." Becoming a doctor was not a small dream. It required years of study and a lot of money. Money he did not have. From that day, Rahman began working longer hours. He opened the shop earlier and closed it later. Sometimes he accepted extra repair jobs at night. He skipped small comforts. He stopped buying new clothes. He reduced his own needs so he could save for her education. Alina grew older and continued to perform well in school. She was always at the top of her class. Teachers praised her dedication. Friends admired her discipline. But no one saw the sacrifices happening at home. No one saw Rahman counting money late at night, trying to plan how to pay the next school fee. When Alina entered high school, the competition became tougher. She needed better books and coaching classes to prepare for medical entrance exams. One afternoon, she brought home a letter about a special science program that could increase her chances of getting into a good medical college. The program was expensive, very expensive. Her mother looked at the paper and quietly said, "This is too much for us." Rahman took the paper and read it again and again. That night, he could not sleep. He looked around the small room, the old furniture, the simple kitchen, and then his eyes stopped at something parked outside the building, his motorcycle. That motorcycle was not just transportation, it was his pride. He bought it after years of saving. When he rode it, he felt free. It reminded him that he had achieved something on his own. It was the one thing he truly owned. The next morning, he cleaned it carefully. He checked the engine, he wiped the seat. A few hours later, he sold it. When Alina found out, she was shocked. She said, "Why would you do that? That bike meant so much to you." Rahman looked at her calmly and said, "A bike can be bought again. Your opportunity cannot. If this helps you move one step closer to your dream, then it is worth it." From that moment, something changed in Alina. She stopped seeing her education as just her dream. It became her responsibility. She studied with more focus than ever before. She reduced distractions. She stayed away from unnecessary outings. The day of the medical entrance exam arrived. Rahman walked with her to the bus stop because he no longer had a motorcycle. He looked at her and said, "Do not be afraid, just give your best. Results are in the hands of God, but effort is in yours." The exam was difficult. Weeks passed before the results were announced. On the day results went live, their internet connection was slow. The website took time to load. Alina felt her heart beating fast. Rahman stood behind her in silence. Finally, the list appeared on the screen. Her name was there. She was accepted into medical school. For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. Then tears filled her eyes. Rahman asked softly, "Did you make it?" She nodded. He sat down slowly, as if his body could not carry the weight of his emotions. He had spent years working for this moment. And now it was real. Medical school was not easy. The fees were high, and Rahman had to take a small loan. He continued working long hours. His hair turned gray. His back pain increased. But whenever someone asked why he was pushing himself so much at his age, he proudly said, "My daughter is becoming a doctor." In college, Alina met students from wealthy families. Some arrived in expensive cars. Some had the latest laptops and comfortable apartments. Sometimes she felt different, but she never felt inferior, because she knew the value of hard work. She knew what sacrifice looked like. She studied late into the night. She volunteered for extra hospital shifts. She treated every patient with respect, especially those who could not afford proper care. She remembered her own home and her father's struggles. Years passed. Graduation day arrived. Students wore gowns and celebrated with their families. Rahman sat quietly in the audience wearing his cleanest shirt. It was simple, but he wore it with pride. When Alina's name was called, she walked across the stage and received her degree. The crowd applauded, cameras flashed. But before leaving the stage, she asked for the microphone. She looked into the audience and said, "Today people call me Dr. Alina Rahman. But this degree belongs to my father as much as it belongs to me. He sold his only dream so I could live mine." "Abu, please stand up." Rahman slowly stood up. The entire hall turned toward him and began to clap. In that moment, all his years of feeling small disappeared. He did not feel poor. He felt powerful. After graduation, Alina began working at a hospital. On her first day as a licensed doctor, she called her father after completing her first major procedure. She said it went well. Rahman closed his eyes and smiled. He said, "I always knew you would do it. This story is not just about becoming a doctor. It is about choice." Rahman could have said, "We are not rich. This dream is too big." But he chose courage over comfort. He chose long-term pride over short-term attachment. Alina could have taken his sacrifice lightly, but she chose discipline. She chose responsibility. She chose to honor the price that was paid for her future. If you are watching this and you feel stuck, remember this. Your background does not decide your ending. Your excuses do not define your future. The choices you make every day do. Think about the people who believe in you. Think about the sacrifices made for you. Use that as fuel, not pressure. Let it push you forward. If this story touched your heart, write a comment below and share one sacrifice your parents made for you, or one sacrifice you are ready to make for your dream. Your words may inspire someone else who is reading. Share this video with someone who is working hard but feels unseen. Sometimes a simple story can give someone the strength to continue. This is Mindforge, where we turn real struggles into powerful lessons. Remember, success is not built in comfort. It is built in quiet decisions, late nights, and silent sacrifices. One day, when you stand at your own moment of victory, people will see your success. But you will remember the pain, the effort, and the person who believed in you first. And that memory will keep you humble, grateful, and unstoppable.